Hey, how you doing today? I am Taquila Coleman, best-selling author, certified life coach, and founder of God-ordained I wanted to jump on here to answer this question because for whatever reason, as I was trying to record it, it just wouldn't record. Okay. Hey, Built-in Fire Ministry, thank you for joining us. So I'm going to answer this question while we are live. Hey, Radiant Sun, Donna, how you doing this evening? Oh, great, great. Yeah, so I'm going to answer the question that was sent in by one of our God ordained spouses via our God ordained marriage website. Now, listen, if you have a question you would like for me to answer, just head over to godordainedmarriage.com, click on the contact tab, and send me your question from over there. Now, let me just tell you something. When you send me a question, please make sure it's a paragraph or less, okay? A paragraph or less. If it's more than a paragraph, that means you need to book a session, okay? Because I like to get in, answer these questions and, upload them to the channel, okay? So, hey, everyone, thank you all for joining. If this is your first time tuning in, catching me live, welcome. Make sure everyone hit that subscribe button and like the video. So, here's the question. Hey, Taquila, I love your teachings. I have a question about the covenant God make in our dream. He showed me yesterday in a dream and confirmed who my God ordained spouse is. He kissed me, and that was where the covenant taking place. So she's talking about the kiss took place in the dream. So my question is, when we are married in the spirit, can we now have sexual intimacy together? We are in divine separation now. He says he can't wait until marriage with sex, but he can't completely do without everything until marriage. And he calls me religious for that. Okay. So thank you for your question. Thank you all for jumping on this live. So let's talk about her question, okay? So when God marries the two God ordained spouses in the spirit, like in your dream, that's when God showed you um, that He has brought the two of you together in marriage. Is it okay now for you and your spouse to have sex? The short answer, no. Now I'm gonna break this down for you because there are some people on YouTube that's giving the advice it's okay to have sex with your spouse because God married you in the spirit. That is a lie. Okay. Now, so let me bring understanding and clarity to this. Okay. So when we talk about God marrying the God ordained spouses in the spirit, right? The purpose of the marriage is to come into covenant with God, right? Covenant means agreement, right? Jeremiah 29:11 states how it say, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, plans, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a good future, right? So God already had plans for you and your spouse to come together in marriage. Okay. He was already planning this when you were a child, like when you were in your mother's womb. Okay. It said, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. So God already knew you. Well, before you was in your mother's womb, he had already written out the plans he has for your life, right? But somewhere in God's plan, the enemy crept in and caused you, the God ordained believing spouse, and your prodigal spouse to now drift away from one another. This is why, as she stated, we are now in divine separation. So now God has to step in and bring the two back together. And he does this in the spirit, because nothing can happen on earth before it's first done in the heaven, in the spirit, right? So he has to step in, bring correction, where it's needed. He moves our spouses into a level of healing. He do the same thing within us as well. He deliver our spouses out of the hands of the enemy. God is in here cooking this love story up. And so when he give you a dream, such as her, she said the dream she had was her and her spouse, they kiss, right? So whenever you're making contact, kissing, hugging, holding hands, and even walking together with your spouse in a dream, this represents covenant. Scriptures say, can two walk together except they be agreed? Okay. So this means agreement. It means covenant. So when God gave you this dream showing you, I now just brought you and your spouse into covenant in the heavenly realm. Now we got to wait until it manifests on earth. Because if we go before God and start fornicating, because that's what it would still be considered, okay? If we go ahead of God and fornicate, because we have heard people say, oh, you can have sex, with your spouse because God married y'all in the spirit, you fornicating, and now you're going to get what scriptures say the wages of sin is death. Okay, you're going to get your payment, which is death, and that death is going to show back up in your God-ordained love story, and it's going to separate the two of you once again. So first, you started out in a divine separation. You come together, you have sex before marriage. You're going to end right back up in a divine separation. And you might find yourself having to deal with more counterfeits after counterfeits, okay? Because that's your payment, all right? So I hope everyone understands this. God is a God of order. The reason why he has to marry us in the spirit first, because it cannot manifest the marriage can't manifest on earth until God first bring us in covenant in heaven. Okay. When God revealed to you who your spouse, is, when he revealed that to you, y'all know your own story. Your spouse was probably with a counterfeit. Your spouse rejected you. Your spouse was overlooking you. They didn't give you a chance, right? Your spouse, left covenant with God and began to serve the devil. So God said, okay, now I got to get back in here and get my children back in covenant with me. And this covenant is first done in the spirit realm. Okay. So once God brings that together, now we got to wait until it manifests on earth. Okay. So if the two of you haven't went to the court and said, I do, it's no sex. And we got to get to a place where we have to stop allowing the devil to tempt us with lust. If that's all it takes to get you to fall and mess up your love story, this is what God wants you to be working on right now in divine separation. Okay. So in divine separation, you shouldn't be talking to your spouse right now, but if you are, and they saying foolishness like calling you religious for that, say, no, I'm being obedient to my God. Okay. It's not religious, it's obedience. It's obedience. And he has every right to choose not to be obedient to God. That's on him. But don't allow your spouse to drag you into sin when you know the truth. Okay? If you don't want to go through this all over again and be up under all this heavy spiritual warfare and invite curses into your life, because that's what you're going to get as soon as you fornicate. That one act of fornication is going to do all of these things, okay? You're sinning against your body. You're inviting death into this situation. You get a curse come upon your life, okay? You're disobedient to the Lord. You to move God to anger, okay? So is it worth it? No, it's not, okay? So in the meantime, while you're in this divine separation, begin to practice self-control, self-discipline, and stop listening to these people who are telling you, oh, it's okay to have sex because God married you in the spirit. You better look at that fruit. You better discern the spirit that's speaking through that individual. That's the spirit of lust trying to get you to bow and fall, so that, because you got to remember, Satan goal. What is Satan's purpose? To steal, kill, and destroy. He know these God-ordained marriages are coming together. And so what does he do? He said, I'm going to go ahead and tip them with lust. With lust. He said, I'm going to tip them with lust. And I'm going to just go ahead and tell a little truth, but put some lie in there. It's true that God married you in the spirit realm. But the lie is trying to fornicate before y'all come together in marriage. That's the lie. So you got to begin to discern the spirit that is in operation through these people. And you can't listen to what everyone say, okay? Read the Bible. It say, do not fornicate. God is a God of order, okay? He's not going to marry y'all in the spirit, but then have it out of order on earth. No, it don't even make sense. Like, think about it. It don't make sense, okay? And that shouldn't even be your standard. It really shouldn't. If I could wait this long for God to marry us in the spirit, I'm gonna go ahead and wait another year for us to walk down this aisle. I ain't in no rush, right? So that's my advice. And tell your spouse it's not religion, it's obedience. Okay? It's obedience, and I'm peeping something else he said here, but I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there because your spouse, the one who wrote this email, your spouse, he has a lot of wickedness on the inside of him, and by him making the comment, but he can't completely do without everything until mayor tell him to go sit down somewhere, okay, and deal with his little demons, okay. So that is my advice. That's right. Exactly. That's my thought. Like out of all the things, see, this how you know it's the enemy. Out of all the things to do, why is the enemy coming with go ahead and have sex? Why the enemy not saying go ahead and get to know your spouse? Now that God married y'all, go ahead and learn more about them. Learn about their character. Learn about their purpose. Why the enemy not saying that? He coming with sex because he already know the wages of sin is death. He's like, come on, invite me in. Invite me in so I can tell this God-ordained love story up. Come on now. Y'all got to stop falling for this foolishness now. But like Melissa said, she said, we waited too long for this promise and going to war in the spirit to get in trouble with our Father. Come on now. I'm not letting nobody, listen. When you know better, you do better. As I've been over here last year and, this, it's been 4 days this month, the more spiritual knowledge and understanding you get of the spirit world, it make you not even want to, make you not even want to, sin in your anger, like if you really understand, you know, sin and how it comes in and destroys your life, you're not quick to fall into these traps and you're not quick to give in to these little lustful, demons that's operating through these God ordained prodigal spouses. Okay. Yeah. It's feeling a connection spiritually, physically, different from when God tells you they're your spouse through your dreams, perhaps. I don't know. I don't think I understand the question. It sounds like it's not different. You should feel that connection spiritually and physically. Yeah. Yeah, but we gotta get to a point to where when you hear foolishness coming out of these people's mouths, you begin to call a thing what it is. Like, no, no, ma'am, no, sir, that's incorrect. Scriptures say the wages of sin is death. Okay, like you got to begin to, quote these scriptures back to these individuals that's coming with this foolishness. It say, do not fornicate. I go ahead and fornicate with my spouse, only for him to turn around tomorrow and go be with a counterfeit. It's out of order. Yeah, Alicia, it's out of order. Why would God first? And then think about this. We already know that divine separation is for our protection. And we also know divine separation means the prodigal has now left covenant with God, right? But some of us have come up on the divine separation because you kept on fornicating with your spouse, and you just created death in here, and it just, God came on in here and just separated that y'all relationship, So why would God do all of that? Only to say, go ahead, it's okay, y'all married in the spirit. It don't make sense. It don't add up. It don't add up. If that's the case, what's their name? Mary and Joseph. She wouldn't have been no Virgin Mary. They had to walk that whole process out. So that was it. That's all I had to say. Okay. I was trying to upload this video, but it wouldn't upload for whatever reason. And I've been trying all day. And I said, you know what? The devil is a lie. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I said, let me come on here, go live, and get this information out, because this is what the devil don't want y'all to hear. He don't want y'all to get the understanding behind it. See, he's good at telling. He's good at making it sound good. Yeah, y'all married in the spirit. Go ahead. No, mm-mm. You're gonna mess this thing all the way up. If that was the case, scripture would tell us to practice self-control and self-discipline. If that was the case, why we rebuking the spirit of lust, sexual perversion and stuff. Can you audibly hear this is your husband? You probably could. That's not my testimony, but you could. Whichever way God speaks to you concerning your God-ordained spouse, that's how he communicates it to you. Some people, God confirms it in their dream. Others, such as myself, God just sent, me to my spouse, and I got the revelation once I was, like face to face with him. Others probably have heard that audible voice confirm that this person is their spouse. Others probably got a vision of it. So yeah. Or you thought you heard it 3 times? You probably did. You probably did. And I go back to God and say, God, okay, I thought I heard you 3 times confirm that this person is my spouse. Now, can you confirm it a different way? And he will. He will. He might do it that same day when you ask him. Okay, does it apply for the people already married but going through a divine separation? They already married, so that it won't be considered fornication. They already married. It's adultery when they prodigal husband or wife is with the other woman or the other man. They're the ones who's out of line, out of alignment with the Lord and out of covenant. But it's not. This doesn't apply to standards because they already married. Okay. God is in the prodigal. I'm talking about the married couple. He's already in the prodigal husband or wife ear telling them, go home. He's already telling them that go home to your spouse. Okay. So no, this don't apply to standards. God can speak through anything, whatever he want, to use to get a message across to you. That's what he'll use. Yeah. 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 God can use anything. He could talk through the children, just about anything. Okay. So we're not going to have, this not going to be no long drawn out live. Like I said, I wanted to just jump on here because trying to pre-record the video, it just wasn't working for me. And usually when that happened, the devil is trying to stop the message from coming forward. So, you know, I said, all right, I'll just go live and hit that record button. So that is it. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. I got another video uploading. I hope that one is working. If not, I'll come back and we'll do another live. But let me see. Yeah, no. No, Donna, she's already married. It's her spouse. If her spouse is stepping out, that's the one who's breaking covenant. So they already married. It won't even be considered fornication if her spouse come back and they have sex. It's not fornication. You know. Mm-mm. What does that got to do with your spouse? It just sounds like y'all. It just sounds like you and your spouse have different belief around being vaccinated. That's not a determining factor on if this person is your spouse or not. It's just a conflicting belief. When where this is where you and your spouse now got to get on one accord in belief concerning vaccination. Because if y'all have children, then you want to talk that out before the children get here, so that y'all not arguing in the in the doctor's office. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. All right, take care.